Ben, it's second pre-season. It's the Jeffrey Over Cup. We've lost on a penalty shootout after a 2-2. Thoughts after this one?
Obviously, from a footballing point of view, you just have to, it's disappointing, obviously, to lose a football match essentially on a penalty shootout. But in terms of like where we're at pre-season wise, it's obviously good to look at a few of the boys that have come through the door in terms of signing, but also a few of the boys that have, essentially been on a trial basis. I think that's why we've done this double game weekend, just to kind of give a lot of the players a bit of an opportunity to express themselves, because I always, think it's a little bit harsh to make decisions off training sessions. So we've given them, as many minutes as feasible across the 2 days, and it now allows us to kind of, trim the group a little bit going into the bulk of our pre-season coming up.
I guess with this weekend you've used 30-something players. It's a huge amount.
Yeah, I think there was one that played today, young Paulie, who was with us last year. Good youngster that we like having around the group, who we'll try and get out for some minutes. So yeah, there was one that played yesterday. So yeah, essentially it's around 30 players that we've used. We had to use a standing goalkeeper today because the two that have been training one played yesterday and the other one was unavailable today. He'll be back Tuesday. So yeah, it's a little bit of a mix up in goal, but obviously we had to kind of accept that. But yeah, we've used a lot of players and given a lot of players a chance to kind of express themselves and see where we're at and where they're at.
Good to see Nico score today, but conversely we conceded in the first minute to a pretty terrible goal.
Yeah,
and the other one was bad too, really.
Yeah, it was near enough like one of those pre-season goals, wasn't it, where it's kind of probably a lot of their first game in a while, players that don't know each other, they're playing back to a keeper who doesn't know anybody. It was a terrible mistake on our part very early in the game, which I thought we ended up getting a lot of control of the game. We just couldn't find an earlier goal. We got one at a good time just going into half time. Got one at a good time towards the end of the game as well, which is the one you're speaking about with Nico. So it's good to get him a goal early doors in pre-season. Hopefully he can use that to kick on, because I think anybody will know who's watching us and has seen that he's signed. We know he's going to be big for us.
Onwards to Tuesday night. What do you change at this stage? You said about trimming players. Are you starting to get a formation in place? Have you got you've got players in your head now? What sort of team can we look forward to seeing on Tuesday?
Well, in terms of trimming, obviously you kind of have to do that quite early, because you don't want to go your whole pre-season working with 30-35 players. You have to kind of get that trimmed down very, very quickly, because you need to start focusing on your own group and giving your own group the maximum amount of minutes that they need to get into a stage of fitness where they need to be come August the 9th. So we'll trim that down between this evening and tomorrow, and hopefully get the boys that are still away or coming back amongst the group on Tuesday, and use that as a bit of a platform to start kicking ourselves on for pre-season, and making sure that the amount of minutes and the tactical and technical side of that we've got to introduce. We haven't really done that over the weekend. We haven't spoke shape, we haven't spoke detail too much. We've thrown a couple of bits in there one-to-one with some of the players, but I didn't want to overload them, especially for some of them that won't be here for the weeks coming. So we'll start introducing that from Tuesday. And yeah, our door is still open. Your recruitment doesn't stop. I don't believe that stops at least till the end of August, just because of where people are trying to get into levels that maybe isn't going to suit them. Players become available. So yeah, your recruitment door is still open. It'll be a crucial time in the next couple of weeks, now that players have had trial games with clubs that might not sign them, that they might become available. So yeah, our recruitment doesn't stop, but we have to start trimming down the group to make sure that we're focusing on what we want for August the 9th.
So I know you've signed a lot of players. There's more to come. We're not going to talk about them now, but we're announcing them on X or Twitter every day this week, just to build up a bit of momentum. But yeah, well done today. It's good to see everyone back here, and see you Tuesday.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.